Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday office hours. I'm Coach Mike. I'm going to be breaking down our topic today. And just to give you a little bit of background, I'm a board certified health coach and also retired professional Muay Thai fighter. So I'm going to be combining those perspectives as well as running my company, Life of a Fighter and Lifestyle of Fitness, for almost 15 years now. So we're going to be coming from a variety of perspectives, but ultimately we're going to be breaking down what really boosts your brain. And when I talk about boosting your brain, impacting your cognitive performance, and we'll define that in a little bit more detail, but we're gonna explore free, free lifestyle tools that don't cost you anything, nothing you have to buy, just literally part of your lifestyle. We also have some natural supports that again can come from your food, as well as looking at paid options that you can get from products, supplements, and different types of habits. And we're going to break them down ultimately into different tiers. We're going to have our foundational level one, no matter what you can and you're going to want to do. We're going to have a level two that are like, okay, these are solid. We can back them with data, but they're not necessarily the same as level one. The level one is going to be your foundational stuff that you're going to want to do no matter what. Your level two is going to be like, okay, a little bit helpful or a little bit less of a necessity, a little bit more on the kind of nice to have category, but can still be impactful, can still be a part of your daily routine. And then we're going to have a level three, which are like the more like, okay, this is cool. This can be helpful. It can still have an impact. There is some studies and science backing it, but it's not as impactful. We're going to kind of categorize these three. And then I'm also going to have like another one that's like, is it just all hype? Is it even really worth it? And just kind of break those things down and come from a different perspective. But before we do that, I'm going to pause for a second and I'm going to take a sip of water. And I want to highlight, speaking of water, the first thing we're going to go into is hydration. But that's where I'm going to get myself hydrated as we do this. And that's one of the simple things when it comes to hydration. And let's just check our volume. I'm going to check with the live in the chat. Volume. I'm going to check. Oh, that sounds good. On the chat, if you guys have questions, always feel free to jump in with questions. I'll have little like moments where I can pause, where we can go into a break and be able to dive into more. And if you're watching the replay of this, again, you can find the replay and all the details in it wherever you're watching the replay. In the description or wherever it is, we'll have links to not only the products, but to the movements, to the exercises, to the resources related to it. I will set all of that up for you as well. And a really quick announcement, actually, or a little like bonus to stay at the end. I have my daily journal. We're going to talk about where this actually fits in the categories of using your brain and doing different types of journaling. Sweet. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. See, and being able to go into like where I actually share, because I'm getting out to the end of my 12-week journal and I'm going to start another 12-week journal. So I'm going to literally like recap my entire 3-month program, go into the next 3 months, what I'm creating. And that'll be a little bonus at the end if there's time, depending on questions. The other thing we're going to do at the end is in our Facebook group, which I'm going to go into right now to tag this and make sure that everyone's aware that we're live. Anyone, and the first person to comment, by the way, like, see, for example, you just won a $50 gift card on any platform. The first person to comment where you're watching this live stream, you get a $50 LOF gift card. So shoot me an email. You can contact me. We have our info on whatever platform you're watching. The only thing is here on Amazon, you'll see my info on my profile. I'm actually going to double check in the profile just to see like what it actually shows. I'm pretty sure it has all my stuff. But yeah, if you just follow, go to my profile, it'll have my contact information in the actual like chat. If not, go to my website. You'll find it, reach out, or just like, honestly, if you join our Facebook group, the LOF University, you can message me there, but you can also just shoot me an email at lifeofafighter@gmail.com. I'll drop that in the chat, but shoot me an email. Congratulations, saying your username that you were the first one in on Amazon, and I will hook you up with a $50 LOF gift card, by the way. Okay. And where I'm live. Boom. Let's tag everyone. Live breaking down. Okay. And with that being said, let's get into it. So we're talking about hydration. That's going to be one of the first things. We're going to talk about, again, the lifestyle, the foundational ones. The first thing we're going to talk about with these foundational pieces, these are free tools that move the needle, that are backed by science, that we have data from, whether it's the National Institute of Health, PubMed, peer-reviewed journals, whatever it is. These are going to be, to me, the most scientifically supported, as well as the most accessible, that doesn't cost you anything. That's what I always like to look at, is what are the things that are going to be accessible that don't cost us anything? And what are things I can do on a daily basis that feel accessible? And with that being said, it's going to be, hydration is going to be number one. Our brain is about 75% water. And here's an interesting data point. As little as 1 to 2% dehydration on any given basis can impact memory, attention, and reaction time. And again, if you guys are interested, I actually have like citations and references for all of this pulled from specific studies and peer-reviewed journals. So if you guys ever want to see that, when I post up our blog recapping our live streams and our content, you can actually see the citations and references in there if you're ever interested, just as a fun fact. So being able to know that, hydration becomes such a foundational piece. And one of the habits I always think about, instead of removing things from our life, what can we add? That's what I talked about last week. Adding in the habit of drinking 16 ounces of water in the first hour of waking up. I'm going to be honest, I slept in a little bit today. I woke up at like 7:15 with the kids. Like I literally just woke up in time to get the lives, like get them situated and go live. That's pretty much it. So, but the point is, from now until like 8:15, my goal is to drink in these 16 ounces. But I personally am going to get this down now because I have a secondary component to it, that I like to drink water 16 ounces before I drink coffee. And I already got my French press prepped, poured. I already got my pure protein. We'll talk about from a supplementation standpoint where things will fit in. That's kind of, to me, more of a tier 2. But I like to get in that water beforehand. And again, thinking about as little as 1% dehydration. I'm a 200 pound, I actually just weighed myself, about 207 this morning. Excuse me. That's just under 3 pounds of fluid loss, which I can easily do at night just sweating. And throughout the day, if you're not properly hydrating, you can easily lose 3 pounds or that percentage extremely fast. So being mindful of that and just being able to get that in first thing is extremely impactful. And then we'll talk about a complement to that. Like, for example, where do like electrolytes fit in with the hydration style? This is, again, an added bonus. We can talk about the supplementation. We can also get electrolytes in from your natural food sources, right? And just from your salt and from fruits and vegetables and other foods that will have your electrolytes, like magnesium, potassium, sodium, and so on. So it's really impactful there. I'll bring down our LOF. All right, I'm just jotting in. Let's get everybody going. Bam. Okay, we got it officially live on our Facebook group. And again, if you guys got questions, you're watching on the live, let me know. I will dive into it. I always want to hear from you guys. And then I'll actually drop in the chat while I'm doing this. Wait, how do I... Can I even use the chat? I don't even know if I can use the chat. See if I can use the chat. Sometimes when I'm live, I don't even know if I can. Oh, here we go. Congrats. You won the $50 gift card. Okay, so that's number one, our hydration. Simple action you can start with today. Get 16 ounces of water in within the first hour of waking up. If that feels too much, cut that number in half. Start with what feels realistic. That's the other thing I've learned. With our strategies and with our approaches is finding, on a scale of 1 to 10, the doability scale. We want it to be an 8, 9, or a 10, meaning 10 is like no problem, I could do it with my eyes closed. 1 is it's impossible, it's not going to happen. Finding what feels like an 8, 9, or a 10. And if that feels too easy over time, sure, we can scale it, make it harder where it's like a 5, 6, or a 7, finding what we would call the Goldilocks zone. These are all principles I've talked about, by the way, in past office hours. We have content, we have blog posts and different videos already on this. I can link to those in our future content, but just to give you a point of reference. Okay. So with that being said, let's move on to our next piece. Unless there's questions on this, we can kind of move forward and I can always circle back and recap. So number one is hydration, because I think to me, that's the easiest way to start our day. It's the most accessible. Number two is going to be exercise. Okay. So just even before we go back into that, Again, these are all things that are impacting our brain function, our cognitive performance. And yes, it's sexy to think about like, oh, what pill can I take? What supplement can I take? What new biohack can I do? It's like, but if you're not doing these foundational pieces, by the way, if you're not doing level 1, there's no point in buying anything at level 2 or level 3. Just so you know, in my humble opinion. And I have worked with many doctors and other professionals, and it seems to be an echoing sentiment of it's not really worth taking these other investments and actions if you're not doing the foundational stuff. So level 1 hydration, impact your cognitive performance. A well-hydrated brain is going to be set up for optimization and working at its best. When you're as little as 1 to 2% dehydrated, again, you're going to suffer from that. So then next is going to be exercise. That's the original neurotropic. It boosts pretty much everything. Whether we're thinking about you're going to get dopamine from it, so you're going to get motivation, whether it means you're going to get an increase of potential serotonin, so a mood regulator, whether you're going to get BDNF, so it's going to help resiliency in your brain and memory and performance. There's all these beautiful things that happen from your brain when you exercise, okay? And again, I can provide references from this, some from Harvard Medical School, some from the National Institute of Health. There's like all these references. I'll put them up on the blog when this gets recapped. The other aspect is when we're talking about release of BDNF. So here's another fun number. And it also will depend on what exercise you're doing. How long are you exercising? I'm kind of like oversimplifying it, but being able to do cardiovascular exercise, we've seen directly is correlated to the more cardiovascular exercise you do, the more BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, your brain will release and uptake and have, as well as strength training will also do it as well. Balance training, coordination training, martial arts. I'm biased, obviously, whether it's wrestling, shout out to Stony Brook, what's up? Or it's Muay Thai, it's boxing, it's MMA, putting all this together. It's jujitsu, whatever it is. But the cool thing is that's why I love martial arts. I'm so biased, obviously, because I have my professional career and background in it, is it's so many marks. You're going to get cardiovascular training. You're going to get HIIT style training. You can get strength training from it depending on what you're doing. And you can get coordination. You can get immediate feedback. There's so much good stuff from martial arts that hits this exercise mark. That's also why another thing I like to do is not only get my 16 ounces of water, but doing 2 minutes of movement. So for right now, literally, if you guys are listening to this, you're not watching this, you're listening to our podcast, what I'm gonna do is do a 2-minute kind of movement routine. If you guys are watching this, follow along at home. I'm in a chair. This is gonna take about 2 minutes. Ready? I also have my Amazfit watch. We're going to talk about this as a tool that helps with some of these even like foundational habits that you can then level up. I'm going to set my timer really quick. We're going to do, or a stopwatch. We're going to do 2 minutes just of movement right now. Ready? We're going to go squats. We're going to squat. We're going to do 10 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could slow this down to 9, 10. That took what? 15, 20 seconds. Cool. Now we're going to do 10 push-ups. So I'm going to slide this back. And again, if you can't do push-ups, we can go back to squats. You can go back to what you can do, even if it's doing from bed, sitting up, toe touches, whatever that looks like. Now let's get some push-ups. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what's that? 30, 45 seconds. Good. So if we can only do that, you can do that for a second round. You're at 2 minutes. What we're going to add to that, though, is I'm going to add a little bit of single leg balance. I'm going to lift my leg up. I'm going to hold it for 30 seconds. This is another great cognitive boost when it comes to exercise. We have the strength training component I just kind of worked in. Now we have a little balance and coordination, which is great for lighting up our vestibular system, being able to light up parts of our cerebellum, our prefrontal cortex, these different parts of our brain that can be impactful. Also, if you have ADHD, and we'll switch legs, that's 30 seconds. Let's go the opposite side, bring it home. This is going to help increase, believe it or not, your cognitive, I'm going to slide over because the lighting is a little, increase your cognitive performance, which is a fancy way of saying your brain's activity, the ability to function. It's going to help with the resiliency of your brain. It's going to help with executive function, with memory. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. So we're at 1:45. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some toe racks. So I'm going heel, toe, heel, toe. We're going to do this for 15 seconds. We're pretty much at 2 minutes. Okay, just doing this 2-minute bind. If you followed along at home, kudos. I'm curious to see in the next like 30 minutes how your brain feels and functions. If you're following along with this at home, you're watching a replay, you're listening to the podcast, let me know if you notice any difference. I've worked with, again, many and time. All right, we'll keep it going. That's just to literally emphasize how simple it is. That took 2 minutes. My heart rate, let's see, where's my heart rate at? I'm sure it's above 100. I don't even know. Yeah, 120. Now it's going to come back down to probably like 60 to 80. But look how simple that was. The simple buy-in of movement, okay? Doesn't have to be super complex. Doesn't have to be that overwhelming. Simple buy-in, okay? Now, the other part to that is we can get really complicated. It can be tempting to overthink like, oh, well, I don't know. Do I need equipment? How much time? Whatever. Like literally start with 2 minutes. You know, now there's some studies and interesting facts on like different checkpoints, like 15 minutes of walking has its own cardiovascular benefits, but even just doing a 2-minute buy-in can help impact your brain chemistry. So start with that. That's number 2. Number 3, speaking of, we have all this training, work really hard. We also need to recover, not just physically, but mentally. So sleep is going to be an impactful one. And really, I could have put this number 1, but I feel like that is where a lot of us can have pain points around. I know I've struggled with sleep in the past myself, and there can be some challenges around that. So I want to be mindful of that. That's why I put it number 3, not because of this isn't in order of importance. I think it's just like where it might be the most accessible, honestly. So sleep can help provide that time where your brain's going to clear out its system, whether you're using, again, your glyphatic, which is a fancy way of like, think of your lymphatic system, but glyphatic, helping also balance out your neurotransmitters. It's basically doing clean. It's like the garbage time for your brain to like process, clean stuff up. You have like in your brain, and Dr. Rhonda Patrick will talk about this amongst many others, and neuroscientists and specialists. I just see she's like a very like publicly forward facing kind of face in this space that talks about a lot of this. So I like to reference some of the stuff she's mentioned, and I've seen in her content as well. It's a time where your brain and your body is going to clear itself out. And we can also talk about, again, supplements and things that help facilitate even getting to sleep. That's what we'll get into in level 2. But level 1 is the foundation of it. Sleep. It's going to help consolidate memory. It's going to help rebalance, again, those neurotransmitters and clear out any waste, basically, and byproducts you're producing. So and there's numbers around this, right? And it's easier said than done. One of the interesting things is just like we can have a certain amount of body composition, weight, hydration. What is actually within our control? I think it's less within our control of like, oh, yes, shoot for 7 to 9 hours. That's the standard, right? But really, if you're an athlete, 8 to 10. Like I was always shooting closer to 10 hours per sleep per night because I wanted to get the most recovery where I could. Doesn't mean I always did it, by the way. Sometimes I was running on 5 hours of sleep, running into training, running into practice, whatnot. But I knew the 2 nights before my fight, if I was fighting on a Saturday, Thursday night, I really dialed in, made sure I got 10 hours of sleep bare minimum. Because Friday, who knows if you're going to get sleep or not. The night before, performance can be really challenging. But if you can get sleep, then 2 nights before is what I got from Dr. Tony Ricci. We talked about this on a podcast many, many years ago. Again, a great neuroscientist and a really insightful and intelligent man. Has been studying this his whole life, as well as martial arts. Worked with some of the best in New York and Florida and across the country. As an insight of, it's not the night before necessarily, it's 2 nights before it's going to be really impactful. That'll carry you through. So sleep, ultimately, if we boil it down, shoot for 7 to 9 hours. And I can give you all these stats and numbers around why sleep would be important or why we may want to focus on sleep. But ultimately, I think you guys have heard all this, you get it. I'll share a couple really quickly, is things that are related to stroke, things related to cognitive performance. Those are the things that, again, are brain chemistry and overall body composition. What's interesting is when you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep, your body's going to usually pull at threads or strings in your system to get you to eat more because it wants to make up for the lack of energy. So if you ever feel like you're craving simple sugar or certain things, caffeine even, that can be part of it. If you also notice like, why am I in a brain fog? Yeah, if you're not operating with elite level of sleep, your brain's going to be suffering it, which is ironic because I'll be honest with you, a lot of medical professionals, like doctors, nurses, even like high performing like law enforcement officers, firefighters, like they are challenged around sleep, which is ironic because those are the people we do not want cognitively impaired or challenged, right, with lack of sleep. But that's usually what's happening. So we get to address the lifestyle factors. And instead of saying, okay, I want to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, it's really hard to just say, all right, brain shut off. What we can look at though is the hours leading up to sleep. And I like the 3-2-1 sleep method. And it basically looks at what we're consuming before bed, whether it's screen time, whether it's food, drinks, as well as even stimulating conversations and movement. So it's being mindful of all those pieces. Now let's move on to number 4. We have a total of 6, by the way, in this level 1. Number 4 is going to be breath work, which is probably even more accessible than hydration, but I think sometimes it gets a little foo-foo-y, or people can perceive it that way. I know I did at one point, but breathwork can be so impactful. It can lower our stress response instantly within 30 seconds, can lower and transition us from a fight or flight state to a rest and digest, from a sympathetic to parasympathetic state. It can boost our oxygen and our carbon dioxide tolerance, as well as heighten our focus and increase activity of different parts of our brain. So one of the things, again, I go back to, like, I have my Amazfit watch. You can use whatever watch, you can use whatever app, whatever tool you want. You can even you don't need any tool. You can just literally be here breathing. But I find it helpful. There's a really cool, like, again, setting. It's just literally breath work on my watch, and being able to just set it. And then we can literally go through. So I just hit breathe and then just go to, let's say, focus. So I click on focus. This is for 1 minute. We can also do relax. I believe this one, I even do like 30 seconds. So we're just going to do this for 30 seconds. Okay. Focusing on our breath. Take some time to slow down. It gives you prompts and gives you some different things. Well, we're going to focus on those 2 different techniques that I really like. One is box breathing. 2 is 4-7-8 breathing. So for 4-7-8 breathing, we'll start with that. You're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. So hold for 7. Exhale for 8 through the mouth. That's 1 cycle. So we can do that for 30 seconds. And then I can already feel myself like relaxing and settling into my chair. Second thing we're going to go into is box breathing. So somewhat similar, but we're going to think of like 4 checkpoints. That's what makes it called box breathing. So for each one, we're going to inhale, hold, exhale, hold for a number. This is where I like 4-7-8. It's very specific. 4, 7, and then 8. For box breathing, you can kind of pick your number, which is helpful if it feels too overwhelming to do 4-7-8, for example. You can even cut that number in half. You can go 2, 3, 4. So you can inhale for 2, hold for 3, exhale for 4. Makes it more accessible. For box breathing, we're just going to start with 2 seconds. I think that's very accessible. So we're going to inhale for 2. We're going to hold for 2. We're going to exhale for 2. We're going to hold for 2 again. And then we're going to inhale and repeat that box pattern. And again, do that for as little as 30 seconds. It can completely change your brain chemistry. Another great option here is like Wim Hof. I mean, that's my actual prompt of starting our 8:15 time. I started early with you guys because I want to jump in, go through all this. I was so excited. And I got tons of stuff to get through. But yes, normally we start at 8:15. Thank you, system. And being able to use Wim Hof was a really powerful tool for this year. And I'll even highlight what I like to work in is my personal experience and then what I've seen work well for others as well. So, I'm not just like kind of speaking from whatever existence, what someone else is saying. So I have firsthand experience and we have replicable data to back this. And that's what I appreciate about Wim Hof. He's been involved in peer-reviewed journals and studies that can replicate this. He has an app. He has YouTube videos. There's free accessible stuff you don't have to spend money on. Yes, you can spend money on it, but like very accessible, free resources if you want to even go that path. And the other part to this, when it comes to the breathwork side, is start with what feels accessible and have more frequent touch points. So instead of doing it, I'm going to spend 2 hours once a week meditating or doing heavy breathwork, do 2 minutes daily as best you can. That's really where you want to focus it. That's what's going to rewire your brain. When we talk about cognitive performance, in general, for our brain chemistry, rewiring our brain, it gets more affected by frequent, short bursts of habits and behaviors than long chunks that are less frequent. So I'll give you an example. I personally like to go to jiu-jitsu class wherever I can. But I found lately with life and where I'm at and just my schedule, I usually at most I'm going 1 time a week. If that, maybe it's like 1 time every other week. But that doesn't mean I don't do jiu-jitsu every day. I do class for like an hour and a half maybe. But then I take whatever we're working from the last time I went to class and I do 2-minute little drills every single day as a bare minimum. Sometimes it's more, but at least 2 minutes. Maybe it's 15, sometimes it's 30. Same thing with Muay Thai. So you can take a bigger chunk. And maybe you do that, but it's not going to rewire your brain. Like for my brain, it's more impactful to rewire it for the drills and for sensitivity, doing it 2 minutes every day instead of like 1 hour or 2 hours once per week. Okay, so that's our fourth one. Now, fifth, this is an interesting one. We're going to get into physical touch and social connection. And again, this is all for our brain chemistry. This is for cognition boosting impacts. So when we talk about physical touch, we're increasing oxytocin, increasing dopamine, as well as serotonin. Also, this is where social connection comes into play, doing something similar, same thing. Also reducing cortisol and stress, being able to improve emotional regulation and overall cognitive performance when we think about memory, when we think about executive function, being able to make decisions. All of these things are impacted by being able to be social. Now, yes, going online can be a form of it, but what I would invite from my not only experience and seeing other replicable data is, when possible, in person being able to socialize, which I struggle with. I'm going to be super honest with you guys. As a dad of 4, as someone that's a partner with my fiance, we at least have social and connective time. But a lot of times we feel like we can be like ships in the night sometimes, crossing with our schedules, or just going through these different things that we're excited about, but it's like a season in life where it can be challenging to have social time and be able to say, like, man, being able to have time when we get out with our friends. That's why I love going to Rogue Combat Club. I love going to Redemption MMA and seeing them, not only for my physical training, but the social connection, the community, the tribe, being able to visit my family up in New York, being able to see my family here, being able to see Carrie's family, being able to see friends. Like, those are impactful things. The next level is texting and phone calls. Like, yes, socialize where you can have that connection. Phone calls, FaceTiming, going online. That's like the next version of it. And again, being able to do this in a way that's like, I schedule time every day to have social connection with a loved one every single day. Now, it doesn't mean it happens perfectly to plan. Some days it got cut short. Some days it has to be a text instead of a phone call. Some days it has to be a phone call instead of a in-person meeting or like social hangout, but that becomes an impactful one too. Last but not least is, I'll call it the brain games, but like, again, brain function in general. So this is free cognitive training. So you can, whether it's like playing chess, checkers, we can do like, I have content on like little like even games and tools, like little like origami style things. We have one by Foldology that's really cool. Even using like journals. I would even say like journaling is a part of this. So doing journaling, having open-ended questions, like I'll read you the question and I'll save this for the end of the live stream if you guys want to really go through it. But today's question is, will I even remember this fight in a few months? So they have different prompts every day. This is the daily Stoic journal. Like yesterday's was, why am I telling myself that I've been harmed? The day before that is, am I certain what I want to say isn't better left unsaid? I don't know if you can tell, the theme for this month is reduce wants, increase happiness. Each week they have a theme. The point is, these are cognitive based like games and training that you can utilize, and you don't necessarily even have to buy anything. You know, these are things I want to have like free. So being able to even play brain games with your friends, and there's a game of, let's say, I call it my reference of it. It's actually a game someone else has created, but I reference it the alphabet game. But saying, okay, I'm going to give you a word, and you can pick the category. Let's say I'm going to pick martial arts practitioners and fighters. We're going to use, to start with, an A. Let's do, who can I go with? Tank Abbott. So it starts with an A. Now the next person has to pick up with that A and then go to B. So we could go to, I'll kick it to you guys in the chat if you want to try and tag in for that, or I'll kick it to you in the replay audience if you're watching this. What would the next one be? Start with, go to B. Okay. Or you start with like A and then it has to finish with B. And you can play different games like that. You can change up the settings. And you can kind of pick how you want to do it. So the point is, you don't need any tools. You don't have to buy anything. You just play these types of games. Or if you have chess, you can make your own. Even doing drawings and coloring and doing different types of fun stuff like that, artistic stuff. These are different types of even brain games, like being able to creatively journal, creatively write, even take pictures, stuff like that. These are things that impact your working memory, that impact your processing speed, your brain's ability to work through and process things. Yes, we can go to like gaming, stuff like that has its place, and can increase your overall neuroplasticity. So these are the 6 foundational things. If you don't have these 6 things, here's what I want to emphasize. There's not really a strong point in going into this level 2 that I'm going to go into now with the product side. If you don't have the foundation, let me recap all of this for those that might have like jumped in and out. Number 1, hydration. Okay. And I'll give you another goal. So we started with a goal of trying to get 16 ounces of water within the first hour of waking up. The second thing you can shoot for on a daily basis is being able 2, do half of your body weight in fluid ounces. So I'm, again, 200 pounds or let's call it 210, 105 ounces per day is my goal for the whole day, if I can. If not, yeah, G, what's up, girl? G, if you want to jump in, feel free to too as well. Like that, for example, Gina, my cousin, I can't wait to see her. She's family of mine. I'm excited. We're talking about, by the way, the things that help impact our brain chemistry and social connection. And is a part of that, and that's where we're going into the level. So like, I'm really excited to see Gina and my family in New York for Christmas time of year. Plan things like that. That's part of the brain chemistry component. So that's level 1, and step number 1, hydration. Number 2, to recap, exercise. Get moving. It has all these cognitive benefits. These are all the things that can, again, impact our brain before we want to start to go to supplementations and other products. Number 3, sleep. Number 4 is breath and breath work. 5, physical touch and social connection. Number 6, brain games and creative outlets that light that up. Let's get you in here, G. Yes. Now we're going into level 2. This is where we're going to talk about like the low cost potential supports. What's up, G?
Hello.
Morning.
Hi. Why can't I see my face?
I think.
Oh, there we go.
Audio. Okay. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, this is so cool. You can add multiple people.
Yeah, that's why I've been enjoying doing these TikTok lives too with office hours, because like last week, like someone just popped in and we were just talking about prepping for a marathon and stuff. It's like really cool. Or it's like
That's so cool.
Or like stuff like this. So I'm live on Amazon too on my other, like I got my phone running. I have this on my laptop. And yeah, it's like I've just been tweaking and experimenting with this because I've been getting like a good response from the audience. So thanks for jumping in.
I love that for you. Yeah. Do you have TikTok shop too? You could add products too.
Yeah, I've got my bands on there. We got the books. We got our apparel line. But the thing is, I'm still playing with. I'm doing this from my laptop, so I haven't added it. But I do have my shop set up, and all my other live streams and all my content. I've been like adding in the products, which is pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. I noticed that going live at night too is a good one.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I've been playing with times. I've just been working with where I can be consistent, but I know like the evening time is definitely where it's at. Right, y'all?
Yeah.
Seems like even Amazon. You guys can let me know in the chat too if you've been enjoying this time. So what by the way, you know what we're covering right now? Covering some brain optimization and brain boosting.
Oh, you know what? I was literally just watching on TikTok. That's so crazy. Maybe that's why your live came up in my feed. You ever heard of PANS or PANDA in children?
No.
PANS is what was it? Pediatric autoimmune neuro something. And so
pediatric acute onset neuropsychiatric syndrome.
Yeah. So basically if your kid has strep throat, it could affect it attacks the brain, or like a certain like mono it could happen with. It happens certain diseases is 1 in every 200 children. And don't ask me how I ended this down a rabbit hole of this on TikTok. Like read it. It's crazy.
You know, it's so like Tesla's actually, she's got strep throat, and she's had strep throat twice now in the last like month. And Lena's got like a sinus infection. Everyone's just basically everyone's sick. They've been constantly like on and off sick for like the last month or so, just between.
I'm sick actually.
The parenting houses, and like I'm actually okay, but I think that's interesting. I see like it's,
I'll go get you some meat. So basically, like they'll go like. They say it happens overnight. It's not gradual. So they'll be their normal selves, and they just wake up, and it's like they're disassociated. They have anxiety, OCD. They almost go into like a blank stare, like where you can't get them out of, and you're like snapping. And what was another one that they said that tics? It could bring on tics.
Okay.
Like Tourette's.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Logan's here.
Yeah, Logan. Good morning, girl. What's up?
It's Uncle Mike.
I like your jammies.
What do you want? You hungry?
She's like,
yeah. Just bring the folder up.
Your folder? Yeah, I'll bring your folder when I go get your food. She has a game called Doja Island that it's all of her classmates have access to, and they could play like it's like a school safe roadblocks for the class.
Really cool.
Yeah, and they dress up monsters with clothes.
What?
Yeah, and they can virtually play with each other. So like, it's like a soccer field. They all play soccer.
And
so that goes back to socialization. See, this is like real-time. But that's crazy technology.
I want to tell him.
You want to tell him? Go ahead.
Tell me about it.
Gabriel's monster is naked.
What? Did you wear clothes? What?
Nope.
Do they have funny designs though?
Yeah, so like each monster is like each child has an avatar and it's a different monster, and you can pick outfits for them.
Yeah,
So they're not naked; they have fur, baby.
Yeah, no, I get it. They have like different.
Yeah, some kids on monsters don't put clothes on them.
Oh, that's okay though.
They're just rocking it like
Fur out.
Zootopia too, or Zootopia.
Yeah, exactly, like Zootopia, exactly what it is. So it's really cute. But yeah. So now that you say like the neuro stuff, that I saw that, and of course I'm like, oh my god, what the hell?
That kicks
So just keep an eye on Tessa and just see, like, make sure she doesn't go.
Yeah, no, we've totally been. I mean, I didn't know about that specifically, but I've been like very like, and that's why I communicate with Ash and me and Carrie. Like, obviously,
basically the sicknesses attack the brain.
Yeah,
an autoimmune for the brain.
That's what he was saying. That's interesting though. So now we're like transitioning. By the way, so I got 3 levels we're talking about.
Okay.
Level 1 was foundational stuff. Think of like a pyramid. The base of the pyramid is the lifestyle foundational stuff you always do, like breathing, exercise, hydration, sleep, social connection, and like certain brain games. Like, do you remember this game where, let's say I would say a name and then you'd have to pick up the letter of the last name and then try and start a name with the first? So like, let's say Tank Abbott, this is all fighters. You'd have to now find a fighter that starts with the name A and then go to B. Or like
only you would come out with the name Tank Garner. Like you had to say like Ashley or something, or like fucking like I don't know, like any red Logan. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stop calling my name.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't say her name apparently.
All right, we won't use it. I'll pay you licensing rights though. Don't worry, I'll put it. I got a fund set up for you. We'll put some licensing in there.
That's so crazy.
So anyways, that's like a brain game. But now level 2 is, so like the next part of the pyramid is like, all right, these are low cost natural support systems that you can get that are like supplementation, food, things like that. And I have like a couple of products now I'm going to dive into that we're going to like share. And one of the ones I actually recently got in was these Sky gummies, the Sky Nutrition, the mushroom daily gummies. So they're to me like a multivitamin basically. But check out all the mushrooms they have in here. Like, and I'm a big fan of mushrooms for cognitive boost and also immune system boost.
You feel a difference?
Yeah, like I personally, like, because I've used like mushroom coffee, gummy, all that stuff. This is what I would invite. It's not like I feel as if you were to take medication. Like I would go like compared to like, I've never taken Adderall for like cognitive.
I was just gonna say I got my Vyvanse downstairs.
Like
I just got prescribed
Adderall. It's not like a stimulant like that. It's not like, because I've done like in the ADHD space when you hear a different thing. But like rhodiola, that's like a natural supplement that I do have. And actually, that I feel a little bit more. Or like,
someone just told me to get that for Logan.
Yeah, rhodiola. Like it's like nature. I would call it nature's Adderall. That's not like really what it's called, but that's what I refer to it as. And it's not even in my like honestly level 2. It is I think a really solid option. I would put that in the level 2 category, similar to this one, the Nordums. This one I believe has this has lithium in it, which is I would put that in like a level.
It's not a battery, like a lithium,
kind of like a different component. It's vitamin C, theanine, B6. This one I wouldn't even put in like level 2. This is kind of level 3. There's some data on it, but not as much. But like mushroom gummies or like omega. This one actually has been backed. Like this one's like omega-3, whatever way you want to consume it, whether it's plant-based, whether I have like there's my krill oil, fish oil, whichever way you want to get it in. Being able to have that can be massive. And they did an interesting study. I always like reference this particular study. They had 2 types of kind of audiences take a combination of omega-3s and vitamin D. It was school kids and prisoners. So check this out. This is what they were trying to draw. Is like both of these audiences aren't the best at listening. They're not the best behavior sometimes. Like young kids, right? Think about like Logan, like Tessa's classmates. Like
of course.
Right? They're like 5 years old or like 6, whatever. And so they're like, all right, cool. We're going to give you omega-3. So just whatever version from food or from supplementation and vitamin D. And they did the same thing for prisoners. And they found that they were able to listen and be more like behaved, but also pay attention for longer. So there's a cognitive component to it and a benefit. So for omega-3s, it can be critical for brain cell membranes, for memory and anti-inflammatory signaling. And there's, again, I have like references, citations for all this. We're going to put.
Do you give that to Tessa?
Yeah, so this is something I have a daily multivitamin that I give for the kids. That's a combination of a probiotic and a multi that has all this in it. So I give it to Tessa, Lena, and Anna. I take different amounts just because they're sizing and whatnot.
Of course. Oh, excuse me.
And
There's what was it? There's something in a vitamin that one of Anthony's doctors was saying that like your body doesn't absorb vitamins well without this, and I forgot what it's called. I feel like it started with an M. I could be wrong. I gotta ask. But he recommended a specific vitamin on Amazon because it had this in it, and it helps your body digest your metabolism, digest the vitamin better.
so, yeah, there's certain things that will go in conjunction with one another. So there's what's called water soluble and fat soluble vitamins. For like and like the next thing I have to talk about actually, and this goes in with the mushroom gummies, is like multivitamins, right? So that's why multivitamins can be set up in a certain way, is because they will have water soluble ones that you need water for your body to absorb, which is quite easy. It's like your body's 75% water, so that's easy. But vitamins D, A, K, and E are all fat soluble. So you need to have fat with it for your body to actually properly utilize and uptake it. So like vitamin D, if you don't take so like if you don't take your vitamin D, for example, with fat, it won't properly be able to be uptaked and utilized. That's why vitamin D and omega-3 tend to go well together. And that's actually in my like list of notes here. Fun fact. So the other things with multivitamins, key ones that are great for cognitive performance, B12, B6, and folate, which is B3, I believe. And then magnesium and zinc, which is great for relaxing our nervous system and function. It's also really good related to like sleep. And even for our like going back to the like mushroom gummies, and I have like I think about my multivitamin packs and all these, whichever ones you want to take. It's going to also support nerve growth factor. It's going to help with memory and mood regulation, and being able to help uptake with oxygen, with energy reproduction, and then when we go to like I personally, when I'm taking B vitamin or like specifically B12, I use the what's called sublingual, so you just drop the drops.
I use the Mary Ruth ones.
Yeah, and being able to the uptake of it, being able to take that in. Mary Ruth is a great one. I have the Lime Herbal or Limelight Herbals one. That one's a good one. Actually, Mary Ruth, they have really good ones for kids too. That's another great line for that.
What was it? Open it.
We got our.
I'm listening to her. She's just asked me a question about her game.
Oh, get it, girl.
She's playing Barbie. No. That's not you gotta swipe up.
Swipe.
Close it. And now try reopening it, see if it works.
My Little Pony.
Okay, go play My Little Pony then. Hold on 1 sec, Mike, before she freaks out. Hold on. Let's see.
I'm gonna mute you for a second, and then I'm gonna go through this, and then you're gonna pop back in. So we got to recap. We have our mushroom gummies, or you can again get it from powders. We have our multivitamin. To me, if you're taking your mushroom gummies, it's almost like a multivitamin. And then you can take different versions of your multis. Again, I have them. We can tag them and go back into our replays. And we have our probiotic. Whether I have the powdered version. All right, Gina's ready. I got you, G. I'm bringing you back in. Hold on. Why is it?
There we go.
So I've got a couple different versions of it. I've got the powdered version. This is the chocolate. This is like an interesting flavor profile. So I wouldn't like, unless you like really enjoy chocolate and the powdery of it, probably not gonna want to go with this one. I wouldn't mix it with water. I mix this with my coffee or like our digestive enzyme. So the probiotics in general is another impactful one from like my tier 2, level 2, pretty much low cost and still backed by science and human clinical studies. It's going to have an impact on our gut, which is directly connected to our brain. The gut's being referred to as our second brain, and 90% of the serotonin we have in our body is produced and created in our gut. So if we have strong gut biome, it's going to help with our mood regulation. So that's why probiotics can be really impactful. We talked about omega-3, but here's the last one I want to dig into really quick is creatine. So whether I like powder when it comes to going to the gym, and then I actually don't have my gummies to compare it to. I just realized I didn't bring them. But I also have like NutraVita has a great gummy line. I think those are really good in the morning to get in the routine. But 5 to 10 grams of creatine in the morning and then 5 to 10 grams of creatine in the evening has been now the new like what's being backed with supportive for our brain function, not just for muscles. Right? Like, G, if I ask you about creatine, do you think about like brain or you usually think about muscles? Usually people I would think it's related to like, and which it still does. It has great impact for energy, ATP specifically, for our muscles to replenish, to go harder in the gym, to have hydration, water, fluid, all that fun stuff. But now there's over the last 10 years, again, Dr. Rhonda Patrick's talked about it, Dr. Tony Ricci's talked about it. He had a great video. I'm talking about different neuroscientists that I follow or that are friends or colleagues of mine. And specifically Dr. Tony Ricci, who's a friend of mine, been on my podcast in the past. Highly recommend checking him out, guys. I'll tag him in my blog too. He talks about for digestion reasons too, you want to take more creatine than we thought at one point. Usually it would be like 3 to 5 grams per day. Now it's thinking like 10 to 20 grams per day. For brain function, especially for on the nights you're not getting sleep, G, this is a pro move for my parents out there. If you're getting less sleep, like when Hope was first born, I stocked up on creatine. I was taking 20 grams of creatine a day to help my brain to have a little bit more resiliency with its function. So that's an important piece that we want to be mindful of. And if you take 20 grams of creatine all at once, you're going to have diarrhea most likely for most of us with our digestive system. So breaking it up into like 5 grams here, 5 grams here, 5 grams here, 5 grams here, way more digestible and doable. But I also wouldn't start with like 20 grams. I would start with like dosage and like, but that's been creatine and caffeine are the 2 most studied products on the market when it comes to supplements. I'm actually having coffee right now. I have these. Have you ever had the Slaps fruit pouches? Have I ever like
goes in your cheek?
No. It's like a fruit. I actually drank them all. I made some content on it a while back. And it's like fascinating. I didn't think they'd be this good. It's basically just like a fruit pouch. It's like usually strawberry, mango, whatever. But they also infuse it with caffeine. So you get like 50 milligrams of caffeine. But you're getting it's a great pre-workout. I use it like so you get a little bit of fruit, so you get some sugar boost for your workout. I usually drink it on the way to gym. It's like a little pouch. Like you know how the kids will have like fruit and yogurt pouches?
Yeah. It's like that. Oh yeah. Okay.
Like kind of like that for adults. So I have like 50 milligrams of caffeine or 45 milligrams of caffeine, and it'll have a little bit of like fruit in it, and you just like throw it down. It's really, I don't know, I like it. But creatine is my point is like creatine and caffeine are the 2 most backed, supported kind of supplements. And I would even put creatine in this category, even though I didn't really focus on it. But that's like a recap of level 2. So to kind of like, again, bring it back, we got our mushroom kind of, whether it's gummies, powders, you have multivitamins. I would swap one for the other. Like if you have a greens or a fruit product, that's like a multivitamin. If you have your mushroom ones, that's like a multivitamin. Or you can have multivitamin by itself. We got probiotics, we got omega-3s, and we got creatine. Now this is the last tier. This is like, you can do these things, but to me, these are if you don't have the other 2 parts of the pyramid in place, it's not worth jumping ahead. And the reason I actually did this whole category was I got a sponsor sent me this product. I was like, you know what? I hadn't actually heard of methylene blue. Have you ever heard of methylene blue?
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
So I had not heard of it. So I was like, I got to look this up. Shout out to Lunica for sending me this. They have like other good stuff.
Yeah.
But
I love you.
Love you too.
Oh, that's so sweet. Logan, you're So I was looking up, like, what do you even use like methylene blue for? And apparently it's for cognition and brain. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to build a whole thing around this and kind of place this. Because I like to be real with everyone. Be like, listen, I'm not going to just because a company sent me some stuff, I'm going to tell you this is what you need. To me, this is like the tier 3. Like you could do this. It will have an impact. There is studies. I've pulled specific studies on both humans and mice that'll support the impact on our brain function. But it's like, again, it can enhance mitochondria function or ATP production, similar to creatine, improves memory, attention in low doses, increases brain oxygen utilization, and neuroprotective basically it protects your brain and helps you fire. But like, and I do think it's worth it. Let me actually do this. But if you're not exercising, you're not getting good night's sleep, if you're not taking your multis, like I would not invest in this for, I'll be honest.
Okay, I'll go down in a minute. Daddy's sleeping. I don't want to wake him.
Taste wise, I'm gonna be honest, that does not taste great. It's not horrible, but it's
your whole mouth is blue, Mike. Wait, look at your teeth, Mike.
So here's the other thing. Let me be real with you guys. The other side of it, this is actually being used as a prank. Like, did I tell you this?
What?
This actual product is being used as like a prank. Like this.
Oh, really?
Like even on, I'm sure people on TikTok and like everywhere else. Cause I was like, dude, I've never heard of this. I have to look into this. So apparently it's like, there are some studies that I've seen like from 2012, 2008 that are like, yeah, you can use this for cognition. But apparently what people are actually using it for is to prank people. Like, oh, take this. And like, look what it did to my teeth, my tongue. Like,
oh my God, Michael. And you knew this before putting it in your mouth.
Yeah, that's why I did it last too. That's why I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the end to save this. But this is like, honestly, like, do you want, like, you could do it and maybe it'll be a cognitive boost. Let me actually pull up some of these studies to make sure like.
Fun fact, you know, I'm vitamin C and vitamin D deficient.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. 88% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. Fun fact, like in case you didn't know that. What was the other one you said? You've had vitamin D and what? C. Yeah, that's also immune compromised. Like, yeah, like that's also doesn't drastically surprise me. Okay. Yeah.
So you said vitamin D and K won't be absorbed unless it's taken with fats?
Yeah, you need to have fat with it. So vitamin D. So that's another one I have here. Where's my
No,
magnesium?
because I've been taking vitamin D and just popping it in the morning like it's nothing. So basically, I'm just peeing it out at that point, I guess. Oh, either.
Yeah, I'm just like pulling up. So like this is like I wanted to pull this up when I'm talking about this like brand.
Oh,
'Cause
I
I was like
can't.
just double checking some of the citations and references. And like, yeah, it's like this is used for like if you're doing surgery and stuff, they want to put it on your skin to know where they've applied things. And that I knew about. And they're also using it for like pranking people, things like that. There's also some like now it's being repurposed for cognitive components like memory, focus, whatever. There's less actual studies or like antidepressants, neurotropic, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. There's all this stuff, but it's not as shown in human clinical studies and trials. So the reason I wanted to bring all this is up, it's like it's to me like the third level. Like you want to do all this other stuff. If you want to start experimenting with like methylene blue or anything like that, you know, I would make sure you're getting good night's sleep. You're making sure that you're exercising.
Get it in a pill form, maybe, so it doesn't turn your.
Yeah, but this is like I kind of, dude, I love blue, so I'm like stoked about this. But that's
Do you have anywhere to go today?
no, I'm just hanging with the kids. Like Carrie's gonna go work, and I'm just gonna hang with all the girls. We're gonna decorate the house, do Christmas stuff. But so I'm gonna recap for you guys. Like I'm gonna be honest. Before you spend money on stuff like this, I would say invest in your foundational habits. Level 1, then you can go to level 2, level 3. These are like your precision tools. Like you can do alpha GPC, you can do other advanced nootropics, you can do like Onnit's, alpha brain even. But like before you get into all that stuff, make sure you're hitting your marks of sleep, hydration, exercise, breathing, being able to do like cognitive games, social connection, getting outside. Then you can go to level 2, like get your multivitamins, get your supplement, your probiotics, omega-3s, creatine, caffeine, mushrooms, rhodiola, those types of things. Then you can start to experiment with if you want to play with methylene blue and like alpha GPC and like alpha brain and all.
Turn yourself into a Smurf.
Turn your whole face and like hands into like this blue, and it tastes disgusting. Like, dude, I know that I'm probably not going to use it.
How do people take this if their mouth looks like that after every day?
That's why it's a great prank thing. Like this would be, here's what I would say, guys. I would get this if I wanted to prank a friend that always is coming over. Like, look at my tongue.
Yeah.
This is like yucky. So,
Okay.
I mean, you can, and maybe there's some cognitive benefit to it, but to me, it's not worth it if we're not doing all those other. If you're really into human optimization and biohacking, maybe do this. But like, I don't know. I'm always sus when it's like I don't see human clinical trials. Like if there's mice trials, okay. I want to see human trials, and then we'll kind of take it from there. And just again to wrap this up. For this, like, actually, Carrie has to start to bounce out. I'm going to bring this home. Is start with your basics. Then you can start to build on with some strategic supplementation use. And then you can go into like experimental stuff. And if you guys want a recap of all of this, I'm going to have the blog post up this week. Liz has been crushing it. She's been helping out with that. Liz is someone that works with us. And she's going to help recap all this, send it out. Gee, thanks for tagging in and joining the fun, by the way.
Of course. We should do like live TikTok workouts too.
Dude, so that's the other thing I'm working on is I'm doing body doubling sessions again. So it basically just means like work out with us, like what you were doing. But I have very short windows, like 12 to 1, Monday through Friday is when I take my breaks. And ironically, on Tuesday, I'm actually making up a client call. My live stream has been ended due to audio difficulties. It totally means that my Bluetooth connected, but it actually knew somehow, I guess, that
it does, yeah.
It like knew, like, oh yeah, you're about to end it. I guess my audio is getting. I'm gonna have to watch it.
No, I'll do it.
That means I can't like edit the audio. Can't edit the because I like to clip it up like after I make the content.
Or you could download the TikTok if anything.
Yeah, that's worst case, and I can just like re-upload it. But I wonder what happened. Policy violation because of my audio. Get out of here. Let's go back to my live and see if. So it was working before. That means it had to have connected to my Bluetooth. You know what? Carrie started the car. Or probably.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
Carrie
started the car and my Bluetooth connected to the car. Classic. All right, but that means she's got to go. That means I got to go. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. We'll have all this recap. And also exciting news just to bring it home. I don't have time to do my journaling recap, which is what I was going to do. But we're now taking insurance. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield and United Healthcare, and now we're working on Aetna and then Medicare and Medicaid. So if you guys want in on that, join us.
Let's go.
Gina, do you have anything you want to like plug really quick? Besides, everyone check out Gina's channel, give her a follow.
No, just everyone follow and have fun. Have a safe weekend.
Yeah. Bye, G. Bye, Logan.
Bye.
There you go.